Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. And today we are doing number 3 of movies that I wasn't really excited about watching and Marco made me watch them. And this was American Beauty.
No, that's not how you do it, Safi. Stop.
What is the deal?
Okay, so today we're here because Safi was forced to watch American Beauty. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, brother.
Now it's your turn.
Okay, well,
Talk
I
about
got
the
this
movie.
movie confused. I don't think I've ever seen this movie before. If I had, somebody else was watching it, and I maybe looked over at it a few times, but all I can recall is the girl that is immersed, except for the front of her, and all her private parts are covered up with roses,
Yeah.
and she's like immersed in a bed of rose petals, and not any, just red rose petals. I should have to make that distinction because there's other colors of roses. And that's about, and I guess Marco says that in all the trailers or whatever that
No,
they show
I was
there.
making a speculation because this is what happened. Because, I can remember all these times where Safi was acting like a fool when she's talking about movies. And one of the things was like, that movie did not deserve to win Best Picture. The one with the roses, American Beauty. There's that part with the roses. And it's just like, it's so fucking queer. Like, that's what Safi would say.
Well,
Over and over and over and over again. And it's like, oh,
that was a very small part of the movie.
Yeah, that's like, and it was funny
like
because,
a minuscule.
yeah,
part.
like years and years later I watched it and I was like, Safi, that's like 1 second of the movie.
It is, and it's not even real.
It's 2 hours
It's
long.
speculation or a fantasy or something that somebody's thinking in their mind, but it's not really happening, or never does.
So it was another instance of Safi making a misjudgment.
Well,
But-
and another thing, I got this mixed up, and don't ask me how. Maybe it came out at the same time. Lost in Translation with Bill Murray, where he goes
Yeah.
to Japan.
I think
I don't even remember the rest of it. I hated that movie.
It might have come out like a year before or something. It's something about him, and he gets into a relationship with Natalie Portman or something. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Well,
They don't go together at all.
you see that all the time in real life, Safi. You have these young women, and they marry men who are like 80 years old, and it's like, ew. And that's just like one example. And
okay, well,
the thing is,
I didn't
though,
watch that movie though.
the thing is that it's like I never remembered her saying that it was Lost in Translation. Like, she never talked about how Bill Murray was in it. She always said Lost in Translation was its own thing with Bill Murray. She never really mistook those back then. So that's just a newer thing, a newer delusion of grandeur. And I was considering having you watch Lost in Translation, but the movie was so bad that like I don't even want you I don't even want to like look
Think
at it or
about it.
anything. Yeah.
Well, I told Marco, it
Gross.
reminded me of this professor we knew who went to Japan. He had a grant, which grants are few and far between for people who do social sciences. And he had a grant to go to Japan to do some kind of anthropological study. He never learned a language, and he didn't do anything. I don't even think he got an article out of it. So they gave him money for nothing.
Yeah.
For a vacation in Japan with his graduate student lover. And I just don't even say the name if you remember what I said, because it's just unbelievable. But that's,
Maybe
I just think for some reason I associate the two because, well, whatever. Whatever.
maybe he wanted to go have sushi.
He could have sushi. Well, I don't know
But
where we were.
you
Yeah,
never
he could have.
you never really have sushi until you have sushi in Japan.
Probably
Like
not.
you never really have sushi until a Japanese man in Japan is serving you sushi. Like, that's just, you have to do that. It's a thing, like, where you just have to do something. Like when you go to California, you just have to go to In-N-Out. Oh, wait a second. We couldn't do that. We couldn't do that when we went there. Remember that, Safi?
I don't know. Why didn't we do that?
Well, I don't think there was one, like, around.
I was going to say, I don't remember there being any In-N-Out burgers.
There was one time where I had seen one, and we were on the highway back from buying your phone, and I saw an In-N-Out, and I was like, damn it.
It'll be fun to, just say we did that. Yeah, you're right.
And
That's
speaking of which, I found this picture of you in a cult, Safi. What's this picture of you in a cult?
That is the
satanic cult.
No, Marco. That is God. They really needed a paint job.
See, guys, she doesn't want to admit.
Well, yeah, I know what it is. It's McKinley Medical Center on the campus of the University of Illinois.
No, that's a cult.
And this guy's a psychiatrist. This is Secretary Lucille, who passed away. She had cancer. And there I am. I think we're doing some kind of skit because at Christmas time, we did all these different skits, and we were having a big party. Everybody brought food. It was fun. But it's interesting because some of these people, I don't remember her at all. I think that's Gina, another secretary.
I think it's a cult.
I have to look at it.
I think it's a cult.
Oh, Marco, don't be a dip. This is McKinley Health Center.
I think it's a cult.
Don't be ridiculous. I should show that to my friend Audrey, one of the people I know from McKinley. We were really, really good friends, and we still talk to each other. She lives in a small town.
Why don't you go watch American Beauty
Illinois.
with her?
Marco, don't be a dip.
Why?
Anyway, let's talk about the movie.
Well, I just wanted to show you your cult.
The movie came out in 1999.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it won for the year 2000, which that's always confusing in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way that movies win for the year after they come out.
Yeah.
Like, especially for like that Wham and Talking movie.
Yeah.
Where it's counted for this year's Oscars even though it didn't come out for us until this year. And so I'm not going to even count it for this year. I'm going to count it for 2023. Which means next year. Okay. So, it's like that.
Well,
I don't like that.
FYI, I did check out the book, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Gross.
So, it'll be interesting because I heard the book's really good. And if you look at the probability, a book and a movie, between the book and the movie, usually the movie isn't as good as the book. So we'll see.
Let's just admit it, Safi.
It's up for a lot of Academy Awards, though. Apparently.
American Beauty is the exact opposite of Wham and Talking because it's all about how you have like these people and they're both men and women and they both have problems and it's not just like a one-sided thing like Wham and Talking where it's like all men are rapists past the age of 15.
Well, that's because it's a group of people that they grow up together. They do everything together. They don't go out into the world.
But Safi,
it's a group. It's a close-knit group. I already know because of what they are. They're Mennonites.
American Beauty is not like a one-sided misandrist movie.
No, it is not.
It's a very good movie.
It is a very good movie.
I really like it.
I enjoyed watching it.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And it got Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, who was Kevin Spacey, of all people. But he did do a good job.
I wanted to see more of the Neighbors, because I really like those actors.
I saw enough.
Really?
Yeah, they were really good. In fact, the woman was, I can't think, the mother who was just kind of like in shock all the time, because her husband was an abusive, narrow-minded creep. That was she's from Dayton, I can't think of her name.
Oh, why don't you
She's
go
very-
talk to her?
She doesn't live here. She's
Oh.
from here.
Oh, well, there's lots of
area.
people from places.
We don't live in
Safi.
Dayton, but we live in the area. The
Well, I
metro
wouldn't say
area.
that on a YouTube video, Safi.
Well, whatever. Marco was born in Dayton. How about that?
But Safi, damn
Anyway.
you.
Anyway, so I was actually happy again. I'm not saying Bone Tomahawk was the best picture in the world, but it was different, and I like creativity, and there was some really good dialogue in it,
Yeah.
and I really liked that, and it was a different kind of story. And then this one was. It was a big surprise to me. I don't think I've seen it. I really don't. I saw
No.
the picture, like I said, of
You
the
must
girl
have
in the
seen.
roses.
No, they must have had trailers where the only thing in the whole trailer is just that shot, and it's
Could
like,
be.
ugh.
It could be.
Because when I saw that, I just saw that scene out of context
Mhm.
because I looked it up to make fun of you and to show it to you and be like, oh, Safi. And then I was like, ew, this doesn't look good. And then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, wow, it's actually a really good movie. It definitely deserved to win Best Picture.
Yeah, it did. I
And-
don't know what it went up against, though, either.
I don't know.
It had, well, like we said, it had Kevin Spacey, which is
In a-
interesting.
in a
But he did a
role-
good job.
In a role that's semi-autobiographical or biographical
Yeah. But
about his problems in real life.
and then it had Annette Bening, and she's married, of course, to
She did
Warren
a good
Beatty.
job.
And she's from Kansas. I
She-
remember that.
She did a good job. Everyone in the movie did a good job.
Yeah.
Like,
And then, of course...
is there really a flaw with the movie? Is there any flaw? Because I don't think there's any flaws to the
No,
movie.
I don't think so. That could happen anywhere, anytime, anywhere, any day, to anybody.
And I'd say the movie is better than Bone Tomahawk because
Well, yeah, it's
it
better.
isn't a slow.
No,
'cause-
it moves.
They're both pretty much the same length.
It has
but-
good timing,
Yeah, good timing.
really good timing. And so you probably didn't expect, if you're paying any attention to this week that I have to do, where I have to look at these movies that Marco makes me watch that I never really wanted to watch. I mean, you might be surprised how much praise we're lavishing on this movie, but it's just a surprise because I just got it mixed up with another really bad movie. And Bone Tomahawk, I'd never heard of it, and like I've said a million times, I like creativity, I like things that are different, and we talked about this yesterday. And so, I mean, it's very nice to have, at least out of the 3 movies I've seen so far, 2 of them have been, this is the best one of the 3,
Yeah.
and Bone Tomahawk would come in second,
And
and then
then
that Dolomite
Dolomite
thing
would
is,
be the worst
needs to
because
go in the garbage can.
it's trash.
Oh, God. And I hate to say that because I really do like the fashions. I love that one outfit.
Safi,
I wish I should have
was-
taken a picture of it.
it was garbage.
I still like the clothes. It's very interesting. I mean, I hated that polyester pant look. But I mean, it's just the fabrics and everything. It's so true to the times.
Well, I think that you should go back to that time
No,
and
thank you. I
and
don't want to go
pretend-
back to that
and
time.
no, by changing your wardrobe
Oh
from
no, you can do that. People do that. They
Homeless-
look for that kind of stuff.
homeless crack addict to Dolomite pimp.
No.
You know, you should start dressing up in a pimp
Gross.
suit
I don't like those
with
hats.
a pimp hat,
I don't like those hats.
and nobody will want to mess with you.
But that guy had like a whole wardrobe of those fuzzy, furry hats. I
No.
couldn't believe it. I mean, he had one for every outfit he had. He was a perfect ensemble, and everything matched and went together. I thought that was interesting, and just. But anyway, let's not focus
Speaking
on
of
that.
clothes,
That was the worst movie of the 3.
There's not really any clothes to talk about in American Beauty, though. Like, nobody in American Beauty really wears anything that makes you go, wow. Like, the only time it makes you
No,
go,
I don't
wow,
think so.
is when people take their clothes off because it's like, wow, it's good that
Why are
like
they doing that?
no, it's like it's good that a movie from 2000 at least had like a bunch of nudity in it, and that they weren't changing into the terrible modern model of filmmaking where people have sex with their clothes on and stuff. It's pretty bad, Safi. It's pretty bad.
Well, what I found was interesting is that I think the teenage girl in the family, with the Annette Bening and Kevin Spacey, their daughter,
That's
they
Thora.
didn't have any other kids.
Her name is Thora, and she
Thora Birch
was also in The Walking Dead.
Oh, is she really?
And
was she in that
for a
witch
season
movie?
or two. Yes, Safi, you
Okay,
already
that was
asked
the
me
little
that.
girl. Okay, well I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh,
She was a little girl. You know, I wonder about
Hard of
these
hearing?
people when they grow up.
hard of hearing.
No. Anyway,
She's pretty good. I mean, she's like a C actress.
she's okay. It's different to see her in this role where she doesn't like the way her parents are acting, and
Her friend is like a C.
Slut.
She's a C grade actress.
Well, what's so funny about her friend? Her friend is real pretty, and all these men and boys and whatever look at her, and they practically ask her to do all kinds of things, including the father.
Which is weird because she's like a 6 out of 10 in Beaver Creek style.
But you find out that she's never had sex with anybody. And the way she was talking to her friend, the daughter, you think she's had sex about 50 times or something. But
Yeah,
she's
that
never
was
had.
surprising.
That was a shock to me.
Yeah.
Because that was all a put on. And then it was fun to see Wes Bentley plays the boy next door. They just moved in. He's the one with the mother who's originally from Dayton. And the father is this ex-Marine, and he has a bad temper, and he's very narrow-minded, and he beats up his son. But Wes Bentley, he was in American Horror Story, for a couple of them that we've seen so far. We're moving up the ladder.
And those two are like A+ actors.
Yeah. And, well, she's gotten a lot of Emmys in what she's done. She's done all kinds of stuff, but I can't remember her name. But anyway, probably because what she's been in, I haven't watched. So
Kevin Spacey is like either an A+ or an F- in anything he's in.
well, that one he did a good job, I thought.
Because you have movies like this where it's like, okay, he clearly deserved an award, even if he's a you-know-what in real life. And then you have other movies where he's just cashing a paycheck. He's just playing the same old...
Phoning it in.
Hey, I'm Kevin Spacey, and I don't like anything because I'm in a mood. And he gets a paycheck. Like, that's what he always does.
I don't know.
And then you have... wait, we already talked about all the actors.
Yeah, so it was nice to see Wes Bentley, and I find out, because I thought he was British, because in one of the American Horror Stories, he plays this, and he wasn't really on for that long in the Freak Show one. He has a British accent, and he is from Arkansas, of all places. I was really shocked to find that out. So...
Well, the thing is that, like, every actor nowadays, you look at them, and, they look American, they sound American, but then you look them up, and it's like they're British, and it's like, oh... It's like an ugly surprise. It's like, oh...
I don't think it's an ugly surprise.
Like,
it's kind of shocking, though, because some of them are so good
especially
at
with
hiding their real accent.
Especially with Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man is the quintessential American character, and he's being played by a British tween. And it's like, what the fuck is up with that, Safi? Like, I want to watch American Spider-Man. I don't want to watch British Spider-Man playing American. It's the same thing like with James Bond. I don't want to watch an American playing James Bond. I want to watch a British
I don't even know
one.
what's going on with that. I've heard so many different ideas battered around.
Because
so many rumors.
who is James Bond based off of? Christopher Lee. And
Okay.
what was Christopher Lee? He was a British white male. And so that's who should be playing James Bond. And it's like, see, in this movie, in American Beauty, they could have had anybody playing these roles because they're just so, they're like archetypes of awesomeness. Like, you have the father who doesn't care, and he's just fed up with life, and he just wants to have fun
He's going through something.
and smoke weed. He's kind of going through a male menopause.
Yeah.
And then
I was going to say midlife crisis.
the wife is like the typical,
Suburbanite.
yeah, she's
With her real estate license and selling real estate. And I thought it was interesting, though, because I've seen other movies where they do the real estate thing, and she's, these open houses, she was in there and she was cleaning everything. I mean, really cleaning.
yeah.
And because she's there, she's on site to show the house to people. And you saw what she was showing the house to these different couples, and you could tell they weren't interested in anything she had to say. And one was a couple of women, and out in the back is a swimming pool, which looks dirty. It didn't look dirty to you. And she called it a lagoon, and they were criticizing all this about it doesn't look like a lagoon because it should have all these certain characteristics that they think of when they think of a lagoon. And anyway, by the end of the day, when they all leave, she screams because she's so sick of dealing with these dips. And because, it's a sales job. You're trying to sell these houses, and so you can get this commission. And, that really, everybody's different. It's really a lot harder job than it appears. And so anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Well, what would be your favorite scene from the movie? Like, was that your favorite scene when she's selling to the lesbos? And they don't like her, and she's like, "Wah!" Is that your favorite scene?
I don't know. They had this one thing where the next door neighbor boy, which is Wes Bentley, I'm gonna take a picture of this and show it to Audrey.
Yeah, show the picture.
She might be in the picture. I'd
Your
have
cult
to look.
meeting.
I can't see. It's too dark.
Your cult meeting.
It's not a cult meeting. This is a skit they're doing at McKinley Health Center.
Well, my favorite scene from the movie, I don't know. I really liked all the scenes for the most part. Like, it's hard to pick a favorite scene from a movie that remains so solid the whole time.
Yeah, well, the boy next door, the one who moves in, Wes Bentley, he loves to do filming. And I'm thinking about Steven Spielberg, too, and that whole Fableman things, which is kind of back because this is more modern, of course, with modern technology that the boy uses. He has walls and walls of videotape. They're like small cassettes, so you can see them. They're all marked in boxes. They line the wall. I mean, really nice. Everything's very organized. And he photographs or films this bag and there's dead leaves floating in the wind. And I don't know how long they show. Don't you think he showed it for like 5 minutes? I mean, we had to see. And he said he had, what did he say? He had 20 minutes or an hour or some ungodly amount of time. He said,
you're saying that's your favorite scene of the movie?
No, I thought that was, I don't know what to think about that, but he was appreciating the American beauty of it all. So, of the bag flying in the wind and the leaves coming up and how quiet it was.
Well, do you know how I would summarize this movie? It's not American Beauty. It's like this movie is Pleasantville, but with balls.
Oh,
Right, Safi?
who did Pleasantville?
Some guy.
Oh, so it wasn't.
Speaking of Spider-Man, the real Spider-Man.
No, I'm talking about who directed it.
I don't know. Some
was
guy.
Was it Opie? Opie do that?
I don't think Opie could direct Pleasantville. That
I
had
don't
way...
know. I'll have to look.
Pleasantville was way too adult for him to direct. I mean, the movies that Opie directs are just like completely like kiddie, childish, baby, melancholy movies. Like the fucking Hillbilly Elegy, he directed it.
He directed Hillbilly Elegy?
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, God.
And see, like, the movies that, like, some of the worst directors are like him, Opie, Jodie Foster, because their filmography is shit. Like, what do they have on their film list that's any good? Nothing. Like, the acting stuff, they had some good acting, but the stuff they direct is just terrible.
Why do you say that? I thought he's gotten all kinds of Oscars.
Yeah, who cares about his stupid awards? Like, he's made A Beautiful Mind, Apollo 13, and what would the only other good one be? I can't even remember. Like, just the movies that he makes now though are like Solo, a Soy Wars story, the Soy movie, Soylo. He directed that. He took over because the other two directors were doing too much of a good job. And then he did Hillbilly Elegy, and it's like, ew.
You want me to look up and see what he's done?
He's really gone downhill, Opie Taylor.
It's funny that we call him Opie Taylor.
Yeah, that's because that's what he is. He can't get rid of it. Like, Safi, just admit it, that this movie, American Beauty, that you barely even talked about, it's really good. Like,
accept that.
Despite how little you've talked about it, it's really good. Like,
I thought it had very good timing. I thought the acting was really good. This could be like I said, this could be a microcosm. This is a microcosm of probably any neighborhood in America, in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Something like the suburbs. I don't think this would be downtown or in an apartment area like where we are now, but I think it'd be like in the suburbs, any neighborhood. And it was and it wasn't boring. Like I said, at good timing, it moved along, and it was like a week, maybe. How long do you think that went on? A week, a couple weeks, a month? How long do you think the movie?
Well, I'm not sure, Safi. I wasn't watching it with you.
Yeah, I know.
Because I've seen it, and that is the only thing that I'll say is that, like, I don't know if it's that much of a rewatchable movie. Like,
yeah, I don't think I want to watch it again.
If I wanted to rewatch it, I would have rewatched it. I wanted to rewatch Bone Tomahawk, and so I was watching it even without sound, but I did not really want to rewatch American Beauty. Even though it's really good. Like, there's just some movies that you just don't really want to rewatch a lot, because they're just... You have to be in a mood to watch them. You have to, want to sit there and be like, I wonder what the symbolism of the metaphor is in this scene. Like the little grocery bag from Kroger's flying around the parking lot. Like, who fucking cares about a stupid little grocery bag? And that's the thing too that you didn't mention. Like,
I did mention that.
This fucking twerp, Wes Bentley. He'd be filming like people in their houses and shit. Like, he probably has tons of dirty footage of people in their houses, because apparently in this neighborhood, people just leave their blinds open for people to see them.
That was another weird thing. I don't believe it.
It's kind of cool though, because, like, obviously Rear Window, and it would be pretty fun to do that, but it's not. And nowadays, it's surprising, because nowadays it feels like if they made that movie, people would call him a creep, and they call him a stalker and all this stuff. And so it's cool that, like, once again, that they made this movie even in the year 2000, because it's so much better than the movies now. Like, and I'll say too, American Beauty is better than, like, any movie that came out for the past 5 years, probably.
No, I don't know about that, but at least for the last couple of years.
Yeah, especially last year with fucking...
Oh my God.
Nothing good except for the sequel to Top Gun. I mean, that's pretty bad, Safi. That's pretty bad.
What about Bullet Train?
Yeah, but that's not on the caliber of American Beauty, Safi.
No, it's not. It's more action, but it's a different kind of movie.
American Beauty is a real movie. Bullet Train is like a fun movie that, it's underrated because it's good, but it's not really a movie like American Beauty.
Yeah.
Like American Beauty was written by adults. Bullet Train felt like it was written by a teenage boy.
Yeah, I just was thinking that, a teenage boy. But he's very talented, and he's more of an adult than a boy, because I don't know he could come up with all that. But it was good.
Yeah.
They're both good in their way.
In fact,
way.
You could make up a little fan fiction where the boy from American Beauty wrote it. Wes Bentley. He wrote Bullet Train because he had nothing else to do because everyone closed their shades because they were sick of him filming them taking a shower. Because that's what he did, Safi. Like, the whole movie, he's just like...
I know. And you gotta wonder why. I didn't get that. I don't think he was trying to blackmail anybody. I think he just liked to film different people doing different things. But he'd probably get in trouble nowadays. But what was interesting, when his father peered through the next door neighbor's window and saw Kevin Spacey and his son, he completely, because he couldn't see the whole picture, he could only see parts of them.
Yeah.
And the boy was rolling. Now, this father was very narrow-minded. He hated gays, and he hated drugs, because his son had got in trouble with drugs, and he actually had to do a urine test every so often. It was, and his father would take it in and check it or whatever for drugs. And but anyway, his father was very mean, and if he caught his boy doing anything that he didn't like, he would punch him in the face. And he did that. I mean, knock him to the floor. I mean, he was abusive. And he saw them through this window, which for some reason they got to have their damn windows at night. And the shades, they even had blinds, and the blinds were up. And I'm like, what the hell? And he could only see part of what his son was doing, and Kevin Spacey, he thought they were doing some kind of gay sexual thing, and I'm not going to go any farther into that. But actually, it was Wes Bentley was rolling a joint for Kevin Spacey, but you couldn't tell that. You couldn't see that. Now, his father would have been upset about either thing, and so that was the thing with this open window or open shades. But it was like, and he completely misunderstood what was going on, and he confronted his son. He beat the crap out of him, and his son just didn't bother to correct him. He said, "Oh, you mean you thought?" And he didn't even get to finish his sentence. And I mean, just so much went on after that. But I mean, just that thing with the open shades, where I mean, it was completely open, and you could see everything. You could see the daughter's window opening into there. You could see the living room with Annette Bening. You could see the garage, which is where Kevin Spacey, he had a little workout area.
Fact, it's surprising because you could probably do a pretty funny comedy skit where you have a neighborhood full of people who just leave their windows open for people.
I know. It's so unbelievable that they would do that. And
they get naked in front of the windows and everything.
I mean, really, it's just unbelievable. That was
really
the one
weird.
thing that was really weird. But I guess Marco said here, we walked down to the clubhouse for I don't know, it was Thanksgiving or Christmas meal.
Safi, don't talk about that.
But we walked back, and he said people had their shades up, and you could see them sitting in their, and it was night. You could see them in their and I can't believe I don't get that. That kind of freaks me out. I didn't see that. Well, I did see, but I didn't see anybody because I was looking upwards, and because they're 2-floor places.
Even when you don't have anything like open, like you could still probably see people. Like remember that one thing, Safi, at the bachelor party, someone.
I guess.
Oh wait, you didn't go because that was for men, so you didn't go.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
You talking about Michael's? Oh. Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty hilarious. But like even then, like there's times where like even if you don't have like a shade open, people can still see stuff happen, and like silhouette of people's figures. It was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
And they should really have made a comedy skit about American Beauty about that.
I don't
Is
know.
what I'm
I
saying.
mean, Saturday Night Live would have been the vehicle for that, but I don't know.
Well, they're too focused on their political agendas to do any comedy.
Well, back then, 1999.
Well, it'd be Well, it'd be around that.
You would have been 2 years old.
Well, I probably would have
A
liked
1-year-old.
American Beauty even as a 1-year-old. Safi, you should have taken me to see it in theaters.
No, Marco, we wouldn't take any baby to the movies
Why not?
because it's just as stupid.
Yeah,
Sorry, if that offends anybody, but I've seen it when people take babies to the movies. What do? They cry. They want to be fed. They have to be changed. If they're older than that, they get bored. They don't want to be there. So it's not a good thing.
But how could you ever go to the movies then? Because you're just one
You have
big...
to wait till the baby gets older.
No.
They want to watch
Safi.
kids shows.
Safi, you missed the joke because you're just one big baby.
Oh, God. Okay, I think we need to wrap this up. So anyway, he wants my food review.
Yeah. Better thought of that, Safi. What, did you
Well,
not
I would
think
just
of it?
give it a solid fruit salad. And because
Oh.
you can add all kinds of different things, elements to a basic fruit salad.
What kind of fruit?
Well, there'd be cherries, there'd be little mandarin oranges, and bananas, and strawberries, and nuts, and marshmallows, and then it's like Jell-O too in there. And
What
it's all
flavor of
mixed up.
Jell-O?
Maybe some cherry Jell-O to represent the red from the roses.
Well,
They
I
were
would...
beautiful roses. The mother, Annette Benning, was a very, very good rose gardener. You have people. We even knew a guy who he and his father were very into having perfect roses, and she had roses all over her yard in very perfect places. It was very well landscaped, and at dinner time she would always have a collection of red roses in a vase in the middle of the dinner table. And then she would play this, I don't know what you want to call it, all kinds of older music, which the daughter and the husband didn't care for because she just played what she wanted to play. She didn't care about what anybody else thought or why they even needed to have it at all.
Well, I would rate the movie, I would rate it, you have a barbecue sandwich, a barbecue rib sandwich with a side of apple slaw and french fries.
Yeah, it's a complete
With an iced tea.
movie. And they did who was doing the grilling? Because they did have one scene where somebody was cooking hamburgers and they were pre-processed because they were completely round and they were flat. And somebody was grilling hamburgers in their backyard.
I don't know.
They had a gay couple who were neighbors.
Do you like hamburgers, Safi? Because you're going to be eating one tonight.
No, I'm not. I'm going to have leftover chicken.
Really?
Yeah. That has some old
Well, it's like,
negatives I just saw.
really?
I mean, really old.
Like that? Is that another picture of your cult? Is that
That's,
a picture where you buried a dead body or
It's
something?
on the back. What it is?
Really creepy. Petrify roots of fallen tree.
Oh yeah.
Quite a sight.
My mom put that.
What a fucking weirdo.
My mom
Got a
did that.
picture of a petrified tree or
She was my mom was into
what was she
collecting
like?
rocks.
Look, it's the American Beauty.
She was
let's
into
look at-
roses too, but
What
not
other
like.
types of creepy shit in here we got? Like some creepy.
Marco's looking through some of the boxes we brought from the.
Let's see. There's a train.
Oh yeah.
There's a picture of some woman in the train, probably you know who. Oh, there's you on the train. What is this before you took your first victim or something?
What are you talking about?
There's pictures of people on a carriage and weird like cowboy fucks.
Oh,
And
that's Dodge City, Kansas, I think.
got got some women at the beach, at the river.
What are you talking about?
They're-
Okay, I think it's time to wrap it up. So goodbye, everybody.
No, let's look at these pictures
No,
now.
what are we doing tomorrow? What do I have to watch tomorrow? Tomorrow's the football game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals and the Philadelphia Eagles and the
Safi,
San Francisco 49ers.
why do you look like a midget in these pictures?
And although we live an hour north, an hour to hour and a half north of Cincinnati, I am a Chiefs fan because I am a native of Kansas City.
Tomorrow I'm going to be reviewing Your Honor.
Oh,
So you don't have
okay.
to do anything tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Marco is watching the second season of Your
Your Honor.
And
That's how you have to
what
say
episode is this? The third one?
it. Yeah, the 3rd out of 10.
Yeah.
So,
So goodbye, everybody.
bye-bye.